Hey Facebook, it's Aries. I'm having some technical difficulties with my computer. It's just not letting me upload from the computer itself. I don't know what it's doing, but figured I'd just use my phone instead. Um, Wrote another poem. It's pretty personal, definitely different than anything I've ever written. Uh, it's to promote hate crime awareness and equal rights. Um, Basically, it's pretty intense. So I'm just gonna read it off. Uh, I just finished it today, so I've been working on it for about a month or so, and I kept thinking whether I was gonna, tell it or not. You know, I'm just gonna do it. So let me know what you think. The title of this piece is called Truest Lies. I once knew a man who was destined for fame. He had it all in his palm, and Rick was his name. Rick stayed on top of his game and mastered his work. A pretty boy indeed with a cute, slick smirk. Body built to perfection, his parents with well-paid professions. No skeletons, no confessions. What seems as a life of immunity, with the omission of scrutiny. But he had a thought that possessed him frequently. The girls kissed his feet and his woman above his head. The lines they all fed, he took them all to bed. No diseases that bled, but into a cold, dark place his mind led. The concept of women, no room to adorn her. Too many he sought, now to scorn her. Emotionless for none, he will never cease to mourn her. All the secret lies in an unspeakable corner. This heavy bag of guilt, he can't even drag it. Like pounds of cocaine, and he can't even bag it. Pulling through thorns, his fabric, he snagged it. He didn't ask for this, just came like tag, you're it. You see, he didn't want anyone to know. So he ran around with women playing a hoe. Instead of fame, he was an average Joe, trying to hide who he is, a down low bro. Talk shit about those who were out and rally, yet secretly take trips to San Fran, Cali. But truth would be seen like a black cat in an alley. Each time the karmic duties would stain and tally. One night he was traveling late on the red eye to visit a lady friend he knew out in Bed-Stuy. Walked on the sidewalk with his head held high. In the mist, a man said, "Hey guy." Both engaged in friendly conversation. Rick was invited to the man's house, proposed contemplation. Soon enough, he would satisfy his insatiable sensation. Or would he? Could be that his desire to this stranger would lead to his ultimate danger, but this shit didn't cross the mind of Rick the hypocrite. Now they're at the man's cockpit. Inside the house, there's five guys, rock band shit. Cleanly house, no rats or bugs, just hanging with the use of hardcore drugs. Little did Rick know these slugs were about to pull plugs. One guy got up and told Rick, "We see right through you, maggot." Another one stood up and said, "A disgraced fucking faggot," enclosed him in a circle, and with one hard blow, half his face turned purple. His clothes ripped, fell face down on the floor. Trying to run, he was tripped. One took his belt off Rick's back, he whipped. All of them lashing and kicking his body, dislocating his hip. There he lies, no words, barely weeping, not speaking. First the soul, now the body weakened. Beat to a pulp, his bones were creaking. But these men weren't done with their case. They saw a slight grimace upon his face. One said he's still alive, another said, "Let's go for a little drive." They all packed in the pickup, pulled out a gun joking, "This is a stick up." But this was no joke, they were about to rip Rick up. Came to a field, deserted and dark, enemy's protective shield. But none for Rick, not even a man with a mask and cape. All five men began a gruesome rape, so sickening they even rolled a tape, chanting, "Straight's the way, no shape." Continued immensely, senselessly, time knew no end, endlessly. The devil's advocates mercilessly. Not once did they wonder about their undeniable hate, the blunder. There from the sky a striking thunder. One stated, "It's time to put him under." According to them, he needed to die clean. One picked up and dumped upon Rick a gasoline pool. The lighter was the climax scene, so one flicked but no fuel. No sympathy for Rick lying in his blood and stool. Yet somehow they all decided he was exception to the rule. and they throw his remains outside of a burnt down school. The night then proceeds down the street, a car with its high beams on speeds, but slow downs enough to notice the man in need. Lady's phone dead with no charger in car and continual blood shed as she rushes the man to the ER. I was that lady who saved Rick's last hour from being his last, and we never spoke of it again, just kept it in the past. But allow me to spit some knowledge to you all right fast. In society, people do vary, but there's only one you. You are your own proprietary, to thine self be true. The tales you tell to others are useless, you're only lying to you. I wonder if I was him and he was I, would he have helped me too? We are promised a second chance and now attain a spirit to renew.